Inside every human being lives an unexpressed masterpiece, a future self waiting to be unleashed. This self is not a fantasy or some distant dream. It is already inside you, locked in the hidden chambers of your potential. Every time you feel dissatisfaction with where you are, every time you catch yourself daydreaming about a better version of life, it is your future self whispering to you. Sadly, most people ignore this whisper. They silence it with business, distractions, and fear. They let the weight of their current reality blind them to the higher possibility living within. But the truth is simple. Your future self cannot be born until you give it permission to breathe. The version of you that is confident, free, abundant, peaceful, and fulfilled is already coded into your DNA. It is the seed waiting to grow into a tree. If you water it with awareness, action, and courage, it will flourish. If you keep it locked in, it will die with you. Life is not about becoming something you are not. It is about removing the chains, habits, and illusions that keep your real self hidden. The key is already in your hands. The question is, will you use it? When you think about your life, realize this: you are not only who you are right now, you are also who you are becoming. Your present self is just a temporary station, not the final destination. The person you could become, with discipline, courage, and love, is already alive within you, waiting for release. The problem is that fear convinces us to stay small. We think we are protecting ourselves, but in truth, we are suffocating the very self we were born to be. Imagine a bird with wings refusing to fly because it is afraid of the sky. That is how most people live. They shrink to the safety of the cage, even though freedom is their natural birthright. Your future self is trapped behind the bars of hesitation, excuses, and comfort zones. Every time you say, "Not now," every time you let doubt win, you add another lock to the door. But freedom is not found in waiting. It is found in acting despite the fear. Your future self is not a stranger. It is your destiny. And the moment you choose to align with it, the prison walls begin to crumble. Think about the dreams you've buried, the goals you once had but convinced yourself were impossible, the inner fire that once burned inside you but got dimmed by disappointments, failures, and criticism. Those things are not gone. They are trapped. They are your future self calling out to you, begging for resurrection. The reason you feel restless, the reason you feel like something is missing, even when everything looks fine on the outside, is because your soul knows it is being imprisoned. That voice inside you, the one that says, "I was made for more," is not lying to you. It is not your imagination, it is truth. But to set it free, you must face the chains that hold you back. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of being alone. These fears are nothing more than illusions, smoke screens designed by your mind to protect you. But here is the paradox. In trying to protect yourself, you actually harm yourself. Your future self is strong, fearless, and wise. It already knows how to handle the storms you are afraid of, but it cannot step into the light until you decide to unlock the door. The biggest lie society teaches you is that you have to wait for the right time to become your best self. You hear it everywhere. When things settle down, when I make more money, when I find the right people, when the conditions are perfect, then I'll change. But the future self does not live in someday. It lives in the now. Every moment you delay, you reinforce the chains. Every excuse is another lock. The future self cannot wait for ideal conditions because life itself will never be perfect. Storms will come, distractions will appear, and obstacles will rise. Yet, the transformation begins when you say, "Even in the storm I will rise." The door to freedom is not in the future. It is in your present choices. Right now, in this breath, you hold the power to release the self that has been waiting inside you for years. Your future self is not asking you for perfection. It is asking you for courage. Courage to start before you feel ready. Courage to believe even when results are invisible. Courage to break free from the chains of fear and step boldly into the unknown. That is how you set it free. Your future self is like a prisoner with infinite potential locked inside a small room. Imagine them pacing back and forth, waiting for the day you finally open the door. They have the answers to your struggles, the solutions to your problems, and the wisdom to live a life beyond survival. But they are powerless until you take action. You might not realize it, but every choice you make either feeds your current self or releases your future self. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you chip away at the wall that traps your destiny. Every time you choose faith over fear, you loosen the chains around your potential. And every time you say yes to growth, you hand your future self the key to freedom. But when you choose doubt, excuses, or laziness, you tighten the locks. The question is simple: will you be the jailer of your own greatness or the liberator of your soul? The life you dream of, the love you long for, the abundance you seek, all of it already belongs to your future self. The only thing standing in the way is the version of you that refuses to let go of the cage. The truth is, your future self is not something you stumble upon by accident. It is something you consciously create. Many people live as though life is happening to them, like they are passengers on a bus they did not choose. But the reality is that you are the driver. The steering wheel is in your hands, and every decision you make moves you closer or further from your future self. Do not wait for a miracle to come rescue you. The miracle is already inside. You are the one who must unleash it. Every habit, every thought, every action is shaping the person you will become. When you choose discipline over distraction, when you choose purpose over procrastination, you are breaking the locks on your inner prison. Your future self is begging you not to waste another day living below your potential. It is ready to burst forth, but you must allow it. You are not waiting on destiny. Destiny is waiting on you. And the moment you decide to step into alignment, your life will begin to transform in ways you cannot imagine. Picture this: there are two versions of you. The first is the current self, comfortable, predictable, and shaped by your past experiences. The second is your future self, bold, radiant, and limitless. These two versions are constantly fighting for dominance. Every choice you make feeds one and starves the other. When you indulge in fear, excuses, and negative patterns, you empower the current self, the one that prefers safety over freedom. But when you choose courage, faith, and growth, you breathe life into your future self. You begin to unlock its chains little by little. That is why small actions matter. Reading a book, practicing gratitude, saying yes to an opportunity. These are not small things. They are bricks that build the bridge between your present and your future. Do not underestimate the power of these choices. Freedom is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Each step you take is unlocking another piece of the self you are destined to become. So, why does your future self feel trapped in the first place? The answer is simple: conditioning. From the moment you were born, you were trained to fit into a system. You were told what was possible, what was acceptable, and what was realistic. The walls of your prison were built by other people's opinions and your own limiting beliefs. But here's the secret: the cage was never real. It was an illusion created by fear and accepted by your mind. Your future self already knows this. It knows that you are capable of far more than you realize. It knows that abundance, love, and greatness are your natural state. But as long as you keep believing in the illusion, you will keep living small. The moment you see through the lies, the walls dissolve. You realize you were free all along, but your thoughts convinced you otherwise. The prison door has always been open. All you need is the courage to walk out. Your future self is not just a dream version of you. It is the higher frequency of your soul. Think of it like a radio station. Right now you might be tuned into a channel filled with static, fear, doubt, and limitations. But another frequency is available, one filled with clarity, power, and peace. That frequency is your future self. To access it, you don't need to become someone else. You need to align with who you already are at your core. Every time you meditate, visualize, or affirm your higher truth, you tune into that frequency. You begin to embody it. And as you embody it, your reality begins to shift. The people around you change, opportunities appear, and your energy attracts abundance. This is not magic, it is alignment. Your future self is not out there in the distance. It is here, vibrating inside you, waiting for you to match its frequency. When you do, it bursts out of the cage and transforms your life. The greatest tragedy is not death. It is living an entire life without ever meeting your true self. Imagine reaching the end of your days and realizing the person you became was only a fraction of who you could have been. That regret is heavier than any failure, any rejection, or any setback. Do not let that be your story. Your future self is calling to you now, louder than ever. It is saying, stop settling. Stop waiting. Stop pretending you are less than you are. Open the door and let me out. The power, the wisdom, the freedom. It is already inside. You don't need permission from the world. You only need permission from yourself. Life is not about survival. It is about self-expression. It is about giving your soul the space to shine in its full glory. The world does not need another copy. It needs the real you, the future you, free, alive, and unstoppable. Every moment you breathe, your future self is watching and waiting. It is not judging you, but it is urging you to step into alignment. The gap between who you are and who you could be is measured by the choices you make daily. Will you choose discipline or distraction? Will you choose growth or stagnation? Will you choose courage or comfort? Each decision is a vote for the self you want to become. Think of it like casting a ballot. Every time you procrastinate, you vote for the smaller version of yourself. Every time you take bold action, you vote for your higher self. Over time, those votes add up, shaping your destiny. The tragedy is that most people keep voting against their greatness without even realizing it. They repeat old patterns, and as a result, their future self remains trapped behind the walls of hesitation. But the moment you wake up and realize you hold the power to change your story, everything shifts. Your future self does not need years to break free. It needs one decision, made with conviction, repeated daily. Your future self is not just waiting for you. It is depending on you. Imagine the version of you that is financially free, mentally strong, spiritually awakened, and deeply fulfilled. That version cannot exist without your present actions. It is not separate from you. It is built by you. You are the architect, the creator, and the liberator. When you delay, you are not just postponing success. You are suffocating your future self. But when you act, when you move forward despite fear, you breathe life into that version. Think of it like planting a tree. If you keep saying, "I'll plant it tomorrow," you will never see it grow. But if you plant it now, you will one day sit under its shade. Your future self is the tree. It is the fruit of your present actions. The sooner you act, the sooner it flourishes. Stop waiting. The soil is ready. The seed is inside you. Plant it today. One of the greatest obstacles keeping your future self trapped is the fear of failure. But here's the secret. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the doorway to it. Every time you fail, you are chiseling away at the walls of the prison. You are learning, evolving, and growing stronger. Your future self is not afraid of failure. It thrives on it. It knows that each mistake is a stepping stone, each setback is a lesson, and each rejection is redirection. The only real failure is refusing to try. Imagine a sculptor refusing to touch the stone because he is afraid of breaking it. The masterpiece would never appear. In the same way, your masterpiece self remains hidden when you let fear of failure paralyze you. But when you embrace the process, when you allow yourself to stumble and rise again, you are setting your future self free. Freedom is not in perfection. It is in persistence. Your future self is also trapped by your attachment to the past. Many people carry their wounds, regrets, and disappointments like heavy chains. They replay old mistakes and use them as evidence that they cannot rise. But the past is not a prison. It is a lesson. Your future self does not care about what you did yesterday. It only cares about what you choose today. You are not defined by your past. You are designed by your potential. The chains of regret are illusions, and the key is forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. Release the weight of yesterday so that your hands are free to build tomorrow. When you cling to the past, your future self remains suffocated. But when you let go, when you decide that your history is not your destiny, you create space for the new version of you to emerge. Your past is over. Your future is waiting, and the door to freedom is open right now. Your future self is not just about personal success. It is about impact. Deep down, you know that your life is meant for more than just survival. You are here to contribute, to serve, to create something that outlives you. The trapped self inside you is not only your freedom. It is the key to unlocking freedom for others. When you rise, you inspire others to rise. When you break free, you give others permission to do the same. Your future self is a leader, a light bearer, a guide. But it cannot lead while locked inside your fear. The world is waiting for the unique gifts only you can bring. Every second you stay in chains, the world is robbed of that brilliance. This is bigger than you. Setting your future self free is not just a personal choice. It is a responsibility. You owe it to your family, to humanity, and to your soul. Your future self is the purest version of your soul. Fearless, free, and limitless. But too often, people confuse this with a destination. They think, one day I will become that person. But your future self is not something you become later. It is someone you allow now. The habits you practice, the thoughts you think, and the choices you make either invite that self into the present or push it further away. Think about it. When you choose to act with courage today, you are already living as your future self. When you choose gratitude instead of complaint, discipline instead of distraction, love instead of fear, you collapse the distance between who you are and who you could be. That version of you has been inside you all along, waiting for expression. The cage is not time, the cage is hesitation. The more you act, the more you realize that your future self is not in the distance. It has always been inside you, ready to emerge. One powerful way to set your future self free is through visualization. Close your eyes and see that version of you, the one who is already free, already powerful, already abundant. See how they walk, how they talk, how they think. Feel their energy, their confidence, their peace. That image is not fantasy. It is memory from the future, encoded in your soul. When you hold that vision daily, you begin to align with it. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is real. So, when you consistently see yourself as the liberated version, your body, mind, and spirit begin to follow. You start to make choices that reflect that reality. You stop tolerating the chains of limitation. You rise into the self you were always meant to be. Visualization is the doorway, but faith is the key. Believe in that vision, and you will unlock the prison from the inside. Another key is environment. Your future self cannot thrive in the same cage that kept your past self trapped. If you want to release that higher version, you must change the spaces, people, and energy around you. Your environment is like the soil. Even the best seed cannot grow in toxic ground. If you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, and mediocrity, your future self suffocates. But if you surround yourself with inspiration, growth, and belief, your future self begins to breathe. Choose friends who lift you higher. Choose mentors who challenge your limits. Choose spaces that remind you of possibility. Every time you upgrade your environment, you unlock another door in your inner prison. Remember, your future self is not only shaped by what you do internally, but also by what you allow externally. If you want to set it free, build an environment where freedom can thrive. Your future self is also waiting for you to embrace stillness. We live in a world of noise, constant distraction, endless scrolling, and relentless busyness. But your higher self speaks in whispers, not in shouts. If you never pause, you will never hear it. Silence is the key that unlocks the inner prison. Meditation, reflection, and solitude are not luxuries, they are necessities. In those quiet moments, you reconnect with the self that has been trapped inside. You remember what matters. You feel the truth that you are more than your fears, more than your failures, more than your doubts. The noise of the world keeps you small, but the silence of your soul sets you free. Your future self has always been talking to you. You just need to listen. And when you hear its voice, you will realize the door was never locked. You were free all along. So, here is the ultimate truth: your future self is not waiting for years, money, or perfect conditions. It is waiting for your decision. The chains are not real. They are made of fear, doubt, and hesitation. The prison is not locked. The key has always been inside you. Right now, in this very moment, you can choose to step into the higher version of yourself. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now, because your future self is not in the distance. It is already inside you, begging to be released. This is your moment to unlock the cage, to break the illusions, to set yourself free. The world needs your light, your gifts, your truth. Do not let them die inside a prison of fear. Choose freedom. Choose courage. Choose to release your future self today. And when you do, you will discover that the life you dreamed of was never ahead of you. It was always within you.